What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are at about $82,600 on this, the 30th of March. We have 9 hours and 47 minutes left in the day. Likely we do continue to drop. This isn't anything new, nothing to be unexpected. The only thing that hasn't really been going our way that we've kind of expected. I say kind of expected because it's not like it really matters that much, but the volatility on the downside, it's just been absent. We haven't had really. This is our volatility right now, so it's nothing major. Bitcoin is moving down with the purpose, and that should scare you. Maybe it shouldn't scare you. It's not that big of a deal. It's just normal. It's what's happening right now. It's the tendency of this move. But we did find resistance right at prior areas of support here, even this shelf of resistance back here. It's in the same area, so finding resistance there just below 84K. I am a little surprised that we didn't at least retrace back up to 84K, but hey man, Bitcoin does what it wants to do, and the bears are in control right now. On a daily time frame, as we've been talking about for a little while now, I think that we are on our way down to about 74K to $70,000, something in that range there. Likely we do go just below 72K. I do like this 1414 area as support, and likely we don't go below the 1618. I like that as support as well. So 72.19K, $70,000, something in that range. It's very common with the 1414 when you get down here to wick a little bit below it and then close back up. So if we do see this, just remember that if we wick below the 1414 and we close up above it, that actually sets us up very nice for a reversal right there. But what we'd have to do, we have to do more work than that, right? We have to close above the 886, we have to close above the golden ratio, show some structures, show some positive structure on the fibs, stuff like that. I don't believe that when Bitcoin bottoms out, it's just going to be straight to the moon. It might be a rapid recovery. It might be, as we had here at this low, this low, this low, that low. It might be, or it could, it could move sideways for a couple of days and then move up. It might bounce exactly like that. It might move sideways for a week and then it might move up. Moving sideways here for a few days and then moving up. Moving sideways, and then slightly going lower and then moving up. You know what I mean? Like this was the low of the move, but that was your fake out low. So just same kind of aspect there. Moving up, moving down. Immediate recovery there. So it's just, it depends. Don't expect it to be an immediate recovery. If you do, you're going to set yourself up for failure because you'll think that if we don't bounce immaculately off of that area there of 1.4 to the 1272, or the 1414 to the 1618, sorry, 72 to $70,000 right there. If you're expecting an immaculate recovery and it doesn't happen, then you're going to probably think that we're going lower, and that's probably not the case. That will be the low, I think, is down to that area. But that doesn't mean that we can't recover immaculately. I would love it if we did. The faster, the better, in my opinion. V-shaped recoveries are definitely encouraged around these parts. All in all, in my expectation, actually, if we can talk about this, seeing into the future a little bit here, bringing out our crystal balls, which sometimes are not the most accurate, right? If you don't polish your balls, they might not be as crystal. Just saying, I heard a wise man say that once. 76.7K to 88.8K. This low to high here, when we find support in this area, this primary target zone between 73.7 to $70,000, when we close above the golden ratio here at 81.115K, that's how we know it's time to go up. That's when it's party time, okay? And this is a bit of a forward-thinking call. It's a bit of a call that doesn't deserve to be made necessarily based on the technicals here. We're not even below the golden ratio. We haven't even seen the extension, so who knows if we even get down there, but I'm very much believing that. So if and when we do come down here, I would anticipate that a move above the golden ratio, however long it takes, but once we close above the golden ratio there at $81.115,000, that will be the dagger in the heart for the bears and likely suggests that we're going up higher. You guys remember how 91K is that area, right? 91,000 right now is that area that we're looking for to reverse the price to validate whatever low we have now. If we go lower, that price comes down, and where it comes down to, 81K is one of those target areas. Let's see if there's any congruence around 81K here from a high to a low right there. I mean, not so much 81K. I mean, you get back above the 236, but I would even say here it'd be like 88K. So somewhere in that zone, still below 91,000, though a lot lower below 91K. And it would make sense. Taking out this high would be a big deal. But this fib, you see, this fib wouldn't matter anymore, actually, because you would be going lower. So if we did go just below 72K, like I think we will, the golden ratio would actually be at 85.4K in all fairness. So 86K, 85K, 81K, something in that area. But basically getting above 86K would be the knife in the heart at that point for the bears. I do believe we have lower to go. Looking at the daily time frame here, if we put a line right here on the RSI, we have found resistance at this area, just above it in this case, but right here, right there, support back here, just below it, but still around this area, support right there. It is a somewhat significant area, and whenever we were at resistance here, that's when we began our downtrend here, and we moved down about, let's see, from a high to a low, we moved down about 21% in the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. 8 days, we moved down 21%. Here on this last one, we moved down a whole 14% in the course of 2 days, progressing lower overall 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days this time, 9 days. And that was a 19% drop. So 14% drop in the first 2 days, 19% drop overall, if you want to count it like that. And we did have another point of resistance kind of in this area too. So you could maybe you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, something like that, 17%. I don't know. If we take, and maybe not the absolute high here, but when the move actually began, right? If we take it from here, we could take the high, but this is 1, 2, 3 on the fourth day. That's really when you started moving down. So where here it's like you started moving down here, you did move sideways for a little bit. I mean, we could take it the same kind of aspect. Instead of 8 days, maybe you took 5 days to move down 18%, whatever. 18% is pretty close to 14 and 17%. However you want to skin it. All I'm trying to say is 1, 2, we're 3 days in right now. We probably have more days to go, and I would expect that the bigger drops are coming maybe by the end of today, going into tomorrow and the next day. That's kind of the expectation, and I would expect that within the next well within this next week. I don't think it'll take a week from here, but sometime, not today, but next week, which starts literally in 9 hours and 41 minutes. We've got a weekly time frame here. 9 hours, 41 minutes left in this week. Sometime next week, over that week, we will find our low. So essentially over the coming days. I don't think it'll be at the end of the week. I mean, if it is at the end of the week, maybe Friday at the latest, but I think that it will be sometime in the middle of the week, if not the very beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something in that time frame. Probably not Monday though. Probably not Monday. I mean, if it were to be Monday, you guys, that would be awesome for one, because we'd actually be getting this drop taken care of immediately. But it'd be a bit shocking because we drop over 13% in a day. Bitcoin hasn't really seen a drop like that in a long time. Maybe we're overdue for that. I don't know. But I do think that April 2nd plays a really big role in this. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty coming around April 2nd. And once we get that day to come out, that's probably going to be the day that we find our low, actually, is that day or the day before. So I would think that if today is the 30th, we have 9 hours left in this day, then we have 2 days, maybe 3 days until we find our low. If we continue to progress lower after April 2nd, Bitcoin is not broken. It's just figuring itself out, and maybe it takes an extra couple of days, but I don't think it's going to take too long. So around this day, 1 or 2 days afterwards or before or exactly on that day, something in there is when we'll find support, when we'll find our next low, and that likely will be around like $74,000 to $70,000. I'm specifically thinking 72K, just below 72K there, $72,000 to $71,000. Does it have to happen? No. But I think at this point, it is very compelling that we do go lower. If we look at this relative fib again, if we take this into consideration here, from a high to a low, we were constructive, we were productive on this fib all the way up to the golden ratio here. And at this point, we are actually starting to be deconstructive. You were finding support or resistance at the 382, support at the 236, resistance at the next fib, higher lows, resistance at the next fib, higher highs, resistance or support at the next fib, higher lows, and continuing to be productive. You can see the stair-stepping pattern right here. Now you've broken below the 382, which is taking out this last low. You're getting a lower low, deconstructive. You're now finding resistance at the 382 where you found support, deconstructive. And if you go below the 236, I don't care if you're bullish at this point. I suppose you're entitled to be bullish at this point. And overall, I'm bullish too, right? I think April, May, June are going to be phenomenal months for Bitcoin. I really do. Sell in May and go away. Don't you mean April and May? No, I don't. I mean April, May, and June are going to be very bullish. I don't think sell in May is going to apply this year. Maybe it does, but I don't know. It depends. It depends on a couple of things. We'll see. Maybe it does, but we'll see. Getting away from that though, 80,700. That's the area that when we break below, if even if you're bearish or bullish now, you have no excuse to be bullish at that point. We break below 80,500, 80,700 on a daily closing basis. It's on. It's on to the downside. And to me, it's already on. It became valid as soon as we took out that 382. But I suppose if you want to be stubborn, there you go. Red line in the dirt right there. But inevitably, I do believe that we're going down. 4-hour time frame looks terrible. Looks like we want to get oversold. I mean, you're getting into the oversold zone and not finding any kind of volatility out of it, right? Here, when you got oversold and you came up to the 40, which is higher than you are now, you still got oversold again. But then you at least on that next run, whenever you stopped getting oversold, you stopped going lower, and you were kind of in this uptrend here. At least then you had a nice push above the 50, right? You didn't just linger in these areas. When you linger longer to the downside, right? And I think that we're probably in the midst of this move. We're not even close to completing it yet, or maybe we're very close on a daily time frame. But on a price perspective, I think we still have a lot of ways to go. If Bitcoin does drop to the areas that I'm expecting it to drop to, right? Just assume this: 74K at a minimum. Let's openly admit that that's a minimum target. I'm going to openly admit that's a minimum target, even though it's not something that I really weigh on. I think that we do go lower. That'd be about an 11% drop. If Bitcoin drops 11%, what's the average altcoin going to do? They're probably going to drop about 20%, right? Probably. If not at least 15% or more, right? The average altcoin. That doesn't mean every altcoin, but the average altcoin. As Ben Cohen would say, I'm not talking about your altcoin. No, I would never do that. I'm just talking about the average altcoin, not your altcoin. Yeah, that's he's funny, man. Ben is a very clever person. If you guys don't follow Ben Cohen, he's one of the better analysts in this space. I know that his in-depth analysis can be boring to some people, but it's very informative and it's very high level, I think. And he's just a very smart individual in the space, and we're lucky to have him, I think, as an analyst in this space, as a market analyst. But anyways, and he's very witty. 13% to a 14% drop is also what I'm kind of considering to happen. So if Bitcoin drops 11%, 13%, 14%, whatever, your altcoins will likely drop over 20%, over 25%, right? Something like that. So just prepare for that across the board. It's coming. And that's not me saying sell. I'm not selling anything. I'm getting ready to buy more. The reason why I'm not selling is because as much as I believe that we're going down, what if we don't? What if we rip through the roof? What if I'm wrong? I know I've never been wrong in my life, but it could happen, man. This could be the time. So I'm just saying, we don't sell. We only buy more in a bull market, okay? You buy the dip. You don't sell the dip. You buy the dip. You hold the rip. And you sell the tip. You buy the dip. You hold the rip. And you sell the tip. That's what you do, right? I know what that looks like. It looks like you're buying the dip, holding the rip, and you're selling the tip. That's what we're going to do. What would that BTD HTRSTT. That's too long of an acronym. That's not going to catch. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Bitcoin's going down. Bitcoin's going to zero. No, the bull market's still in full effect, you guys. Well, maybe not full effect right now, but it is still alive and well. This is just a little bit of a stall and a downside in this little fickle game that we call cryptocurrency, but it's about to be over soon. And I think that after April 2nd, things will really start to tear up. So that's it. All right, bye-bye.